All right, let's see what Blizzard does to lock you
Hope you're having a
out.
lovely day. On this channel for many years, I've gone over how many manufacturers try to obscure certain terms of the sale. When it comes to right to repair, you may not know that many of the items that you're purchasing are fundamentally unrepairable in a way that older items were. Even this Sony camera that I'm using to record this video has a website where any man, woman, and child on earth can purchase parts to it and can also find manuals to it, which is not something you see with many modern devices. You don't know that you are locked out of the supply chain necessary to do repairs for many of these devices until you actually buy them. It's not something that's mentioned on the box or in the
Damn.
brochure. And when it comes to many modern devices, you also see companies changing the terms of the sale after the sale. It's not just that they're hiding something pre-sale, it's that they are actually trying to change the terms post-sale. This is something that I went over with Roku recently, where they decided that they were going to go out of their way to send a message to everybody's television, forcing them into forced arbitration. And if you did not click agree to this terms of service, you would not be able to use your television. So you would
What the heck, man? This is so insane.
get a notice that looked something like this. CommunityRoku.com. We've made an important update. We've updated our dispute resolution terms. Select agree. You may note that there is no button to disagree, which is actually by design. And if you were to try to hit the button on your remote to switch over to the HDMI input, you couldn't. You couldn't change inputs. It actually continued to use the television you bought until you agreed to these new terms that were not present when you purchased the product. And this is something that's becoming very, very common nowadays with
This
many
is
companies.
fucked
It's not just they have
up.
to screw you up front, they have to F you afterwards as well. And this is something that Blizzard
They have to F you afterwards. That is really fucked up, honestly. Like, what the heck, man?
appears to be taking part in as well. And again, this is a serious problem when you purchase any product or service that requires internet connectivity to work. Anytime you purchase something that requires internet connectivity to work, they can take away features and functionality after the sale, and more importantly, they can change the terms of service anytime they want after the sale. Because as long as your device connects to the internet to their server and you can't stop it from doing so, they held you hostage. So let's go over this with Blizzard. This is a very interesting little change in the terms of service with Battle.net that many people are being asked to agree to. So this is from the Blizzard end user license agreement, and I'm just going to read what a viewer said over here. I guess Blizzard has gone the way of Roku and Sony. They force you to agree to their new terms and conditions, or it just signs you back out of your account. And apparently you don't own any of the games that you purchased from them and never did. Now,
I have absolutely no words for this. Like, how are they even getting away with that? How are they bypassing so many laws with this should be illegal, yeah. Big company, big PP. Sounds about right. I mean, EA literally said that we should get used to not owning any of the products that we're buying anymore. Like, that's what they're saying, that we should get used to not owning our games. And I'm just like, what?
Now, this is an interesting one. So they have this new end user license agreement that you can see as of March 21st. And if you have agree and cancel. If you cancel, it signs you out of your account. Now, the terms of service here are interesting, where it says, if you do not agree to the terms of this agreement, you are not permitted to install, copy. And if you take a look at this agreement, it's very interesting because it says, if you do not agree to the terms of this agreement, you are not permitted to install, copy, or use Blizzard platforms or games. So this is an interesting one because, again, this is being sent out to people that already purchased these games prior to these being the terms of sale. That
is insane, man. I don't know if this is because of the new Microsoft stuff from the merger, if it's a new thing necessarily, but like, what?
Need to log on to this platform in order to play their game. If they don't hit agree, then they cannot play their game. So they bought the game when the terms of service were here. Under these terms, that's how they gave you the money. And now, in order to access what they bought under these terms, they now need to agree to new terms. And it says over here, if you reject the terms of this agreement within 14 days after your purchase of a game from Blizzard, you may contact Blizzard through us.battle.net
14 days
/support/en to inquire about a full refund of the purchase price of that game. If you purchased a game at retail, your right to return the game is subject to the retailer's return policy. So if you bought this game at a store and you can't get a refund on it. So they're able to change the terms of the sale afterwards, and you can't do anything about it. You bought the game with these terms, You gave them the money under these terms. They can change them to these terms at a later point. You see how this is a problem. And this is one of these things where it just doesn't seem like they thought this through at all, as from the user. And to be clear, there may be a way around this, but the user experience of this was obviously not taken into account when putting this rapey contract. As I do not agree with the EULA, I cannot log into my battle.net account in any way. This creates a few issues that have clearly not been thought out by Blizzard. I cannot log into my account and cancel my service. The only way to cancel my service is to accept the new end-user license agreement, so I can cancel and remove my payment method.
Are you for real? Like, are you kidding me? We're literally reaching a point where you can't even cancel your subscription unless you forcefully go to the bank and you tell them to, like, cut the payment or refund. And you have to agree to the terms in the first place? Oh, man. This is rough. Yeah, I mean, the problem is with a lot of these is that with any online service, we basically agreed from the get-go that these things can get changed. So you're screwed just from the simple fact that you may not know that they will fuck you over. It's like one day you're just walking on the street and someone tells you to bend over, and, well, you don't have a choice in that.
I also cannot see the results of my pending ticket with them, as I cannot log in and see the ticket system. As a result, I have deleted my card on my payment platform so they can no longer take my money. I am glad I did not directly give them my card info. And just to be clear here, this is a company that I've talked about a lot on this channel. I talked about them in the LA Fitness video and gym cancellations video. To be 100% clear, I have not been sponsored by them. They have never contacted me. I have never asked them for a discount. I have never received a discount on any of their services, because up to this point, I actually haven't paid for them. This is called privacy.com. What privacy.com allows you to do is you can put a bank account or a debit card down here, and once you have done that, you can create virtual credit cards. So I can have a different credit card for every single merchant that I deal with. So if I'm dealing with a rapey merchant like Blizzard that decides they are just going to change the terms of the sale after I have paid them and not even allow me to cancel unless I accept these new terms, I can simply go to privacy.com and I can change the amount of money that card is allowed to use, or I can delete it altogether. So when they try to bill me again, they will not be able to bill me again. Privacy.com is a savior for me because there are many websites that have these type of dark patterns. A dark pattern is a pattern where you can technically cancel, but it's almost as difficult as navigating a New York City taxation or government website, where again, like, you can get the information you want if you have 8 hours to spend on the phone and fucking with the website in 8 different browsers.
Yeah, like, honestly, I think in a lot of cases, our banks are able to, like, also cancel stuff for you. But this is so alien to me, and this forced TOS down your throat thing is just like, what?
To figure out how to get where you need to go.
Like, why?
But it's like nobody cared to make it easy to navigate. And again, why would you? And being able to navigate the website would result in you receiving less penalties because you are more likely to file your returns on time. This is one of those things where there's really not a motivation or an incentive structure for the company to get it right. If you're canceling, you're not going to give them money anymore, so why do we care about your experience? And maybe if we'll make it hard, we'll just milk a couple more months out of you. Privacy.com is a great service because, again, at the end of the day, I can have different credit cards across all these different merchants, and when a merchant decides to do some bullshit, I can hit delete. Now, when you look on the Blizzard community forums, one of the things that you'll read is that most people just fundamentally don't care about this. And again, one of the reasons we are where we are, one of the reasons that we have cars that are able to track everything we do and then report it back to General Motors, who reports it to LexisNexis, who reports it to our insurance company, is because people say,
don't
why
care.
don't care?
Yeah.
The reason that we have refrigerators that
this is the reason why we have most shitty things in anything. It's like the exact same thing I was talking about when it comes to microtransactions. Because people don't care, and they're like, what do I care? It doesn't affect me. It's like predatory systems get away with being predatory because people are like, well, I'm not the one that's being targeted. I'm not the one whose rights are questioned here. Like, I am fine with this. Until, like, at one point, they're not going to be fine because it's going to affect them. But by then, it's probably too late. Which is like, is the biggest problem that we face generally with a lot of online stuff? People don't care. People are just happy. Like, they're tired and they just want to like log in and play something. Most of the time, companies will get away with billing you extra, paying you shit. Like Adobe, for example, you agree when you purchase their software, uh, you purchase it yearly, and they have terms that if you cancel early, you gotta pay like I think 60-70% of the entire payment plan. So when you go and cancel because you're accidentally billed for an entire year, you can't. Like you cancel one day later and they're like, well, you gotta pay most of it. And there are so many different predatory systems out there that just make it really annoying for anything.
That, again, you can't even get a warranty honored on because it says on the side of the box that you're not able to a class action sue them if they do something wrong, like I don't know, let's say deny warranty to thousands of users for a defective product, because the side of the box says you're not allowed, you can't do that, which is a box that you never see because their own delivery men and installers throw it out before you see it.
Jesus Christ, man. Hi, Mr. Sandstorm, welcome in.
Reason that we live in a
Meow,
world
meow.
where many items are not fixable, whether we're talking about wheelchairs or tractors or consumer electronics, is because you have people that say, it's not a big deal. Who cares? It's one more lost right, but who cares? And when you just look through this thread, how much of the purge does this affect in terms of being enacted? You see people saying this is common now. You see the last one is the one that I found the most interesting here. As if anybody here has the resources to take on Blizzard, just hit accept and play. You earn important or powerful lumps to spend brain cells on this. And at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, he's kind of right, but it still doesn't make it any better because that's literally what they count on. What's up, Shimmer? But yeah, it's like, it's sad because this is the level that we are at as consumers. People don't care that our consumer rights are being taken away. They don't care that we have less anything. I've noticed that when Freds was a thing, Freds is not available in EU, and half the globe didn't care, and then the rest of the people were like, well, I need to VPN so I can make an account because that matters more than my rights. Like, huh? Hey, Masayu, welcome in.
For me, it's not about whether I believe that there is going to be a genuinely, very societally important reason that I personally sue Blizzard because I didn't, like, somebody was mean to me in the chat of the latest Warcraft game. That's not what it's about. It's about this very slow erosion of rights, and more importantly, the expectation that we deal with. It's the expectation that you not be able to use a court of law. It's about this slow erosion of rights that happens 100,000 little steps at a time. It's not any one step that's gigantic. It's just here to here,
Yeah.
to here, to here, to here, to here, to here, to here. Think about how many things would have been
It's baby steps.
absolutely insane 30 years ago that we just accept as normal right now. The inability to install an operating system of your choice on a $1,000 computer you own. The inability to fix the things that you own. The idea that your car has the ability to report information to the insurance company so that if they think you accelerated too fast on one occasion, your insurance premiums go up $100 a month without your consent. Google having the ability to go through every...
That is crazy, man. Like, first of all, there are computers where you can't install your Windows on? Seriously? Oh boy! It's not even Windows, I guess, like your operating system of choice, but like, really? Really? Then, like, I know that there are like, I guess Macs, yeah, but like, I know Apple doesn't allow you to do certain things, and they're literally getting annihilated by the EU and forced to allow apps on that they were simply just refusing access to. So, like, I know a lot of different things that are different between EU and US. But yeah, the problem with regulators caring about this stuff for us, iPro, is because consumers don't care, they bypass the protection and the regulations. And even then, a lot of things get slipped through the cracks because, as he's saying, it's small little things that simply tick away. And they happen over a larger period of time, that something that's outrageous just slowly gets accepted. It's not like this is happening within a span of 5 years, suddenly like you lose access to everything that you have. It's over a bigger period of time. But you end up with all these situations where you don't have permission for your own account anymore. You don't have permission for the games that you purchased. You just lost everything because they just decided to lock you out of it.
Everything that you send to their platform, scan it, have people look at it, and then report it to the police because you took a picture of your child for a doctor during a time period when you were not able to go there physically. Again,
Wait, what? A doctor took photos of his naked toddler for the doctor, and Google flagged him as a criminal?
there's so many things where people will simply say, like, what are you afraid of? You have nothing to hide.
Jesus
Trust me, they're not
Christ.
spying on you. You're not going to sue police. Like, at the end of the day, there's just one after another, after another, after another. And like 10 or 20 or 30 years from now, when companies are able to do whatever they want to us, when we have no privacy anymore, when we have no sovereignty over what we own, we don't own what we own. Everybody's going to say, man, when did it happen? And you won't be able to point to any individual instance because there wasn't any individual instance that was at fault. Rather, it was a slow march towards just not owning anything, not having any consumer rights, and not having any freedom.
This video speaks to me because I literally had the exact same thing in my Dragon Dogma video where I had the exact same annoyance to the point where I made the video where like I saw so many comments of people saying, what do you care? It doesn't affect me. Just don't buy it. Oh, you're overreacting. Well, there's nothing you can do about it anyway. The ship has sailed. Just accept and move on. Just look the other way. And I'm just like, why are we doing that as consumers? Why do we stand there as consumers and go like, they're exploiting and abusing us? Well, I am aware of it, so they're not doing it to me. It's fine. Like, people just want to consume stuff and not think or care, which is very weird and sad that we reached this point. Like, I get it. Like, I know there are a lot of people that don't understand. Like, they don't want to deal with their own files on their computer, so they're fine with Apple taking care of all of that. But really? Are we really gonna get there?
And that's a sad thing. And again, when you look at this, your use of the platform is licensed, not sold to you. And you hereby acknowledge that no title or ownership with respect to the platform and the games is being transferred or assigned. And this agreement should not be construed as any sale of rights. Nothing that you have purchased from this company is actually yours. Nothing that you've purchased from many other companies has been yours for a long time. Even if I were to purchase a camera from a different brand than this, and anything were to go wrong with that camera, can I get a schematic? Can I buy parts easily to it? No. The reason that I got this thing, even though Sony sucks in a lot of other ways, is that 13 years after the purchase of this camera, I could go to their website, and again, the price is perfect. It's $35 for an HDMI port, but I can buy it, and I can see a nice little detailed 97-page manual that tells me how I can service it so that if anything happens to it, I can have some feeling of ownership over it. That feeling of ownership is something that's being taken away more and more every single day. You bought something, you bought it under one set of terms, and now they can just change it and take away what you'd purchased if you don't agree to it.
I mean, phones, you used to be able to just change stuff in them. Now you can't even open your phone anymore.
10 or 15 years ago, we would have thought this is crazy. And now it's just like, okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. The majority of people are just going to look at that and say, okay, whatever. And again, it's not going to be until they drive their Chevy Bolt and there's one time where somebody stops in front of them a little too hard. So they, because they're playing with their phone or some bullshit. So I now have to hit the brakes a little harder than usual. And I actually prevent a crash, but now my insurance premiums went up $100 because my car's spying on me. Like, that's the point at which people are going to care. They only care when it personally affects them.
Yep. That statement right there. People are not gonna care about this. People are not gonna care about a lot of things because it doesn't affect them yet. Like, I still remember when you could take out the battery out of your phone. I don't think a lot of people do, but I still remember that. I still remember replacing the battery, just the battery.
And the thing that I
Meow.
fear above all else is that people are not going to notice that it affects them until it's too late. Until you can't really reverse it. You can't change course. You can't stop. It's kind of depressing. Anyway, let me know
It
what
is
you think. That's
depressing.
it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. 2 things I would like to shill here. Feel free to turn off the video at this point, because at this point, this is just an ad, and I do not like ads. So I like to give you time to just go into your pocket, hit the off button, the power button, on your phone,
I don't like
pause the TV
ads.
remote or anything
Skip
so you
it.
hear it. All right, so that should have been enough time for you to end it.
It is
This
honestly
here is an Acme hot
infuriating,
air
though.
workstation. We have these back in stock,
And
same-day
sad
shipping,
and
and I also have them
depressing
on sale.
to think about.
If you know anybody who's purchased these from me, who's ever had a problem with
Meow
them,
meow.
hopefully, they've let you know that if you do have a problem with this, even a little bit outside of warranty, we are usually very generous in terms of dealing with that. Although we haven't had as many warranty issues with these as we've had with other brands of products. This is a pretty nice little hot air station, and we also have this, and this is a Mr. Clinton the cat.
Clinton the
Battery
cat.
pack, so you can use this for charging up your phone, your Bluetooth headphones,
Oh,
anything like that. It's a little USB power bank. Yeah, this is a
that's a cute USB power
and it
bank.
has a little engraving on it. I don't know if it's engraving or I don't know, laser or whatever the hell they did of Mr. Clinton the cat.
That
So if
reminds me,
you're
I
a
actually
fan
do
of
need
Clinton the
another
cat, we have that.
power
I'll link
bank
these 2
for
things down below.
Japan.
And that's it for today. And as always, hope you learned something. See you all in the next video. Bye now.
Yeah, this was a cool video, but it's infuriating because I know that this won't change anything. Like, people are not gonna care, and they're just gonna say this is the same that's been happening for many years, so there's no point, and you don't own anything, and what you gonna do, right? Like, at the end of the day, people are gonna be like, oh, but Overwatch 2 just released a new hero, and I wanna play because it looks cool. Oh, but my friends are playing the new Diablo season, so I'm just gonna hit accept because I'd rather play with my friends and have fun than care about my rights. And FOMO will win most cases over caring about anything, honestly. That is the sad place that we're at. Like, and I don't know how you solve this, honestly. Like, I don't have a solution for this. I don't know what you're supposed to do. What do? Do you just decide that you just stop gaming? And yeah, there's also the buyer guild. I already bought it, so like, what do I do now? Do I just go like, well, I'm not gonna use it? The same thing with like the TV from earlier, where, well, if you don't agree to the conditions, you can't use your TV anymore. What the hell do? You literally have to accept that, because otherwise you have to get a new TV, and there's no guarantee that the new TV isn't going to do that in a year. Seriously, what do you do in that situation, especially if you're from America? Because in the EU, to a degree, you can still go and complain about your consumer rights, being neglected and everything. But in other parts, you don't even have that safety net of being able to at least report it and try to appeal, or have the EU go head to head against them. Because yes, you as an individual, you as one person, you as a consumer, you can't really do jack shit against these giants. Like, what the hell are you gonna do? You're gonna go and sue Microsoft because suddenly they change the terms, and if you don't, like, they just lock you out of your account? The next thing you know is that you're suing Microsoft, so suddenly you can't use your Windows anymore. Like, yay! I don't know, man. It's fucked up. Like, I don't have a solution for it, but I don't like where we're heading. I'm gonna be honest with you.